Hi. All right, so today is a very special video. Today marks 1 year since I came out, and oh my God, it's pretty incredible. I went out to eat with a friend, um, and we were talking about um, how crazy of a year it's been for me. Just the love and support that I've gotten from people, when I first came out, and as my transition has kind of gone along, it's been a whirlwind. It's hard to believe it's already been a year. I've gotten my name changed. 3 days ago was 8 months on T. Um, I've like it's just overwhelming. I'm speechless, actually. Just to think about where I was a year ago to where I am now, I feel like a completely different person. And, along the way, you know, in addition to my transition, I've made a lot of different life changes. I started to work out more. I don't know if you can tell. It's kind of, yeah, I'm just kidding. But really, though, I've started working out more. I'm doing the Thrive program or regiment, which has really helped me as far as my mood and my energy, and being able to sleep better and just feel better. And then on top of that, I completely officially distance myself from my family. Well, not my family, but my parents specifically. And I've gotten closer to my extended family, and I've just learned, how amazing they are. I already knew that they were awesome, but to really truly start to get to know them over the past year has been really really cool to connect with them. Because my parents sheltered us when we were kids, and we never really got to talk to our extended family or spend time with them. I can count on one hand the number of times I've met my aunts and uncles and cousins and stuff, and that's sad. I feel like I was, deprived and didn't get that opportunity to get to know them, and it's really great that, as an adult now, I'm finally able to really start to get to know them, and they're supportive, they're awesome. My grandma and grandpa on my dad's side, they absolutely, have accepted me and love me, with open arms, and my aunts and my uncles, as well, and my cousins. I just wish my grandma and grandpa on my mom's side, were still alive, so they could, see who I turned out to be. And now I'm starting. I started my new semester in school, and that's been really cool to, sign the sign-in sheets and see my name, as Ryan Alexander. It's awesome. Like, I am really happy with where I am in my life right now, and I know it's only going to get better. I have my top surgery coming up next year. I just have to wait to be a year on T, which will be December 26th, and and then after that I can put in to have the insurance company approve that surgery, and that's my next step. I'm just so overwhelmed and blessed to have the people in my life that I do, who love me and who support me, and who fight for me. I'm not used to that. I am not used to having healthy relationships in my life, and I grew up in chaos. I grew up in dysfunction, and I grew up not loving myself. And this past year, I think the biggest thing that has changed is that I love myself today, and it wasn't always the case. I hated looking at myself in the mirror, and now I look in the mirror, and the person that I see is completely different than the person that I saw a year ago, and I'm happier now. Like, I have a legitimate smile on my face. Like, before I felt like I was always faking it, or I was always putting on a front because I didn't want people to see how hurt I was on the inside and how broken I was on the inside. And this year has really opened me up to getting in touch with that broken side of me, and saying it's going to be okay. We're finally out of it. We're finally getting to live the life that we've always wanted to live. And it took 30 years, but I'm so thankful that it's happening, and I'm so thankful to have my friends and the family that do support me and love me. And I just can't wait to see what the next year or the next years are gonna bring. And it's been interesting to learn about the community, and to learn the ins and outs of being trans, if that even is a thing. And there's been a lot of good, but there's also been a lot of things that don't sit right with me, and I don't agree with, as far as mentalities and thought processes and beliefs and theories and such. And I know with everything, you're not going to always agree with everybody. So I've learned that while the trans community is a very good resource, I have to keep my distance from it, because it's definitely it's not always the healthiest, just because there's a lot of people who don't research what it is that is involved with becoming transgender. I made a video a few weeks ago that I posted and then took down, just because I was not in the right state of mind when I made that video. I was very negative, and I was really just annoyed, and I didn't feel like that was the right things to say. There are a lot of things that I disagree with in the trans community. I believe that there needs to be a new system put in place as far as getting people started on hormone therapy. I don't believe that you should be able to start it without at least having one sit down with a therapist, because it is a very big decision. And the changes that you go through, aren't to take lightly. There's changes that are going to affect you the rest of your life. And if you're not ready for that, and you don't research that, you can definitely be in for a really big shock. And then I see a lot of guys who start testosterone, and like a week later they're like, why don't I have a beard? And it's like, do you know any cisgendered guys who started puberty and had a full-grown beard a week later? It takes time. And so I think just finding a way to delicately and respectfully educate, I think the younger trans community is definitely something that's needed, and just to let them know that, yes, you're valued, yes, you're loved, yes, you are cared about, but at the same time, you have to understand, this is a very big decision, and it's not something to take lightly, because it is something that will affect the rest of your life. And and that's where I hope that maybe my words, of encouragement to them and support, and passing on my wisdom and knowledge, as limited as it may be right now, will hopefully help them. When I made the decision to go on hormone therapy, I made a pros and cons list, and I spent hours researching what all is this going to entail, because I knew that if I was going to make this decision, yes, I could go back on it any time, but there's some things that happen to you that don't, that aren't reversed. The voice deepening, that doesn't go back to normal if you decide that, or not normal, go back to where it was if you, realize that maybe you aren't transgender, or you're, maybe you're non-binary, or whatever. So that's been interesting for me to go through this journey, in just sort of such a short time, try to understand it and navigate, the community as a whole. But I'm really excited to see, where my journey takes me next. Going through the semester, and getting ready for surgery, and then the recovery from that, and then how awesome it's going to be, to wake up and have that next part of my body, be the way that I always envisioned it to be. So I'm going to keep this short. I'll try not to ramble on, because I know my videos are usually super long, and I don't want to bore people with my rambling. So, I just wanted to say thank you, mostly to to everybody, and to say, I cannot put into words how much I really truly appreciate each and every one of you, and your continued support and your love and your words of encouragement. And I never imagined, I knew my friends were awesome, I knew my friends were amazing, I knew my family was amazing, but I never knew just how amazing you guys were until you opened up your arms and accepted me, with no hesitation. And I know a lot of transgender people in the community, don't get that support like I do, and I really appreciate it, and I'm lucky and I'm truly blessed, and I love each and every one of you so much, and thank you. So yeah, 1 year. And here's to many, many more years, for sure. But as far as everything else, I'm good. So yeah, I will make another video hopefully soon. But until then, take care.